Alright, a very good evening to all of you. It's Tanveer once again, Tanveer Masood or Tanveer Md Masood, and today I'll be talking on a very important and crucial part of education, that is teaching and learning. I'll be talking on teaching and its various aspects basically. Now, teaching basically has been defined by in various ways by various authors, by various intellectuals in their own different style of speaking and style of inferring things. Uh, Recently, I basically was going through a very informative textbook, and I got to know from a very big scholar, wherein he defined teaching in his own way. It was quite appreciable. At the end, he had to say that teaching can be carried out without teachers as well. However, conditions apply concerning this. The fact of the matter is that in today's age of science and technology, things might happen. Everything has become high tech, and a lot of things can are being taught online. However, at the end of the day, what we can infer, what I can say is the fact that people who are basically putting up things, study materials and study resources online, and there are learners who are getting to know from it over online. That is basically happening because there is the presence of one person in between, and that is the instructor or the trainer, we can say. Whatever learners can learn online in this era of IT, information technology, and science. Now, at the end of the day, we can say that there is someone who is working to upgrade the technology in it, and that is happening because there is some specialized person who has got specialized knowledge on it to feed the necessary knowledge online, and so that learners can get the maximum out of it. So it cannot be concluded that teaching can happen without teachers, or anything which is highly sophisticated can be learned by laymen without the presence or without the help or without the training of skilled people. So this skilled person can be said to be a teacher, or he can be a trainer, or she can be a trainer, or he or she can be an instructor as well. So there are various names that we can give to a person who imparts knowledge, who transmits knowledge from his end or from her end to the end of the learners. So this can clarify the fact that yes, teachers or trainers or therefore it's not possible to uh, teach or instruct or spread knowledge or transmit knowledge from one entity to another, from or to any entity to a second entity or to a third entity without the presence of the first entity. And we can say that the first entity has to be the instructor, he or has to be the teacher for that matter. Yes, certainly teaching can happen independently in the absence of teacher, when a student or when a learner is basically getting or acquiring knowledge with the help of a textbook or any other learning resource. In that case, we can say that yes, teaching is happening in the absence of the teacher or the instructor. So at the end of the day, when something is being transferred, there has to be a person, there has to be an entity who is transferring that knowledge or that piece of information. So this transmission can happen with the help of an entity called the teacher. All said and done, like I said, knowledge achievement can happen independently when the learner is acquiring knowledge independently with the help of any resource material or written resource, learning resource material. In that case, we can say yes, it's without the absence or without the presence of the first entity called the instructor or the teacher. This ends my first discussion on what exactly is the role of teacher. However, if I can discuss further on the uh, objective of teaching, what exactly it is all about. Why do we teach? Why do people teach, and why do learners learn from teachers or from any person who is transferring knowledge? First objective of teaching is to bring about desired changes in behavior of people. Here, people means PUPIL people, students or learners. Whatever changes, positive changes that needs to be done in the psyche, in the behavior, in the learning behavior of an individual, that can be done or that can be brought about through proper teaching. All right. So if teachers are transmitting proper knowledge, adequate amount of knowledge, positive knowledge, correct information to the pupil, to the students, then that is going to bring about a desired change and positive change in the behavior of students and behavior of people at large. So this is the first objective of teaching. Secondly, it helps to enhance the knowledge level of learners. Certainly, any layman can enhance his or her knowledge on a given subject if proper knowledge is basically transferred to him or proper knowledge is transmitted to him, and this can be done very in a methodological manner with the help of teaching, and teachers can do that certainly. So these two are basically one of the most important part or two most important part of uh, objective of teaching. There are other objectives as well, like formation of belief, improving the learning skills. At the end of the day, if proper learning is done, or if proper teaching is done, if proper information or correct information is transmitted to the learners, then at the end of the day, they are going to become good members of the society, right? Because a learned society is basically an educated society, a society which is informative and which is getting correct piece of information. Information here does not mean uh, any given information. It's information about the aspects of our lives. It's information about various subjects that are related with us, and information and knowledge about things which affect us in various ways. All right. So it's about language learning, it's about literature learning, it's about general knowledge learning, it's about social studies learning, it's about science learning, it's about arts learning, it's about business learning, it's about learning of various aspects of our lives. These, whatever things which are mentioned just now, the various subjects, these are basically part and parcel of our lives. All right, we cannot disregard these aspects and expect ourselves to become a very valued member of the society. In order to become a valued member of the society, we have to ensure that we are contributing in a positive manner, and that can be done with the acquisition of proper knowledge from the transfer who has to be the teacher. Now, let me talk about certain basic requirements of teaching. What are the conditions which have to be present in order to make sure that teaching is basically successful? First and foremost, there are three basic elements I can say that we all know is basically dependent variable, independent variable, and intervening variable. Dependent variable, we all know who are dependent variables. Students, learners, they are the dependent variables. They are dependent on the learning methodologies of teachers. They are dependent on whatever teachers have to say, whatever instructors have to say. They are dependent on the values, on the authenticity and credibility of discussions that are put forward uh, by the instructors, by the teachers. So they are dependent on the knowledge transfer power of teachers. Now comes the second aspect, or the second basic requirement, that is called independent variable. Independent variables are the teachers, the instructors, who are transmitting knowledge to the dependent variable, that is the students. So they are independent in the sense that they have free access to their knowledge. They are free to act um, act in a given manner, so that they are giving proper knowledge to the students. They are free to set the syllabuses. They are free to set question papers. However, they are also open to certain suggestions from the top level of hierarchy. However, the fact remains that they are independent to act in a manner that is very convenient to the learners. Next is intervening variable. What are intervening variables? Intervening variables are basically the necessary infrastructures, the environments that have to be present in order to make sure that learning is successful and teaching is successful as well. Intervening variables can be the conditions or the methodologies of learning or teaching, proper classroom presence, maybe the proper techniques of teaching is adopted by the teacher, presence of, say, infrastructures like mics, boards, chairs, and tables. These are other aspects, infrastructural aspects. So it's basically the intervening variable, and these three variables are compulsorily have to be compulsorily present to ensure that learning and teaching is basically successful, and it meets the requirements of the teachers and the students as well. I'll be talking more on learning and teaching in my next discussion. Thank you.